All right, hello, hello. Today, let's go ahead and do this. Start there. All right. Oh, hold on. There we go. All right, cool. Thank you, Neuro. Um, I was like, oh god, I lost the chat window. It's not inside the OBS software, but it is what it is. All right, so got some. I would say way better than expected data. You looked at the ADP non-farm number. I'm expected to come at 262. Last time there was a little bit of adjustment of about what was it 100 or 100. Yeah, 10,000 jobs. But look at this. This is almost double, right? Actually, it is over double. Yeah, it is double. Amazing, amazing, amazing data. Right now, it's not causing major changes right now, but you are starting to see dollar strength kind of roll back in minus versus the yen. And again, some of that is the proxy. You're seeing the dollar CAD tick up. 62 is kind of the leader right now. Again, we still have ISM services as well as jolts. And again, the jolts would be the big one. Remember, ADP, this is not the ADP, or this is not the non-farm number. It is a non-farm number, but it is not the non-farm number. Um, so yeah, I wonder if that's gonna, you know, I wonder. I mean, it's not a direct correlation, obviously, into Friday. Friday's number is actually different, but I'm wondering if it's really just kind of foreshadowing what we're going to see on Friday. The magnitude of how big this could actually be. What? No, you eat. You eat. I don't want. You eat it. Um, Yeah, we're in the whining stage. So he's been up since 5 today. I guess we got up. Um, yeah. So he's yeah, he's in one of those moods. But anyway, again, as far as the dollar goes, this is very strong for the market. That jolts one is going to be the big one because the jolts number has been something that we've been talking about for a while. The labor pressure out there, and really, it was one of the last things that was driving inflation. Right, seeing you know the demand out there, right? Seeing the demand out there for new employees. Um, and it's crazy too because you see this high jolts number. The friend of mine that used to work for Thinkific, she finally accepted a position somewhere else, and it's been months. She had been through like 5 final round interviews. You know, she said tech was quite saturated with people, so I guess there was so much tech layoff, and that's what she wanted to stay in field. So yeah, a lot of jobs hiring, but or a lot of job openings, but it doesn't seem like you know, again was the easiest market for her to get another job. So yeah. Anyway, again, 10 o'clock is going to be a big one. It's going to roll in about 20 minutes. We're seeing a little bit of a pause from now till then. We should see the rest of this data come through rather soon. Okay, and then we'll see the kind of where the moves go from there. All right. Tomorrow, Friday. This is the biggie. This is the real NFP number. And again, expected to be 224. And I love this. It's like, oh, it's 224 here, but this one over here, which is just a subset, is 226. So big difference here. Question is, are we on par for that tomorrow morning at 8:30? As well as the unemployment rate expected to go down from 3.7. Now, the Fed said that really to get inflation under control, we'd have to get to 4.6. So coming down, again, if inflation is too high, the market has been quite resilient. So is there a reason to really, I don't know. I mean, is there any reason to be halting if, inflation is not where we want it, but the unemployment rate's going down and we're hiring more people and we're not going into recession? Is there a reason to slow down if we're not where we need to be? I think the answer is probably no. So yeah, there's definitely some implications that are coming in from tomorrow morning. Again, both on the CAD front, CAD expected to raise up a little bit as well, but then again, CAD is going higher, the US is going lower. So it really opens up the door for more, not less, which is what I think the overall market is really kind of banking on at this point. That it's going to be less, not more, but I think it's coming. I think it is coming. So that's where we're at right now. As far as where we go with VIX, VIX is obviously jacked up through the roof right now. You can see up 9.52%. We started down here Friday back at 13, so now we're back up to 15.5. And you can see all the indices are quite red. The YM is just holding on for dear life, not being into a full percent down. It's at minus 0.98, but everything else is kind of holding it at like 1% down. Now I guess ES now is 0.99 as well. Um, Again, this is strange. You would see data, you'd be like, oh my God, more people are getting hired back. This is awesome. And again, we're still kind of in that good is bad and bad is good type stuff right now. Um, again, this is great data, but at the same time, it's great data that actually justifies another raise, which is what the market doesn't want. So it's a good bad, right? We've seen this a lot since the pandemic, the good bads, right? And again, that's why we're seeing what we have. There you go. They're all over 1% now to the downside. Now commodities, you can see dollar's just been whipping back and forth, and again, we're still on the high side above 113. We knew we had selling up here, and again, late last night, kind of, I guess this morning, came in, pushed down, the 830 number came out, and then spiked it back up again. We're still kind of in the same context, and we haven't even really seen major movement yet, and it's already starting to kind of creep higher. And again, justified as it should. Commodities, all in the red. Now, a caveat on this one. I mean, crude, we're at 71.60, right? I'd like a red day where I can say, oh, we're back in. We've broken through 70, but not there yet. Natural gas down 0.38%. Not down much. Still right below 265. Gold down just a smidge. Silver down big. Silver down over 1%. And we mentioned that, hey, listen, silver was going to be a great opportunity. It was rising up more than gold was. Gold was already starting to move. And again, the gold market gold and bonds have been a little bit more on touch with what the reality of the markets are. But silver, we talked about, getting a short opportunity. And again, you can see we haven't even seen the major movement yet, and silver's already down this much. So again, the people that are in there in that speculative side of silver are kind of getting, I don't want to say nervous, but they're looking at this and being like, ugh, this is not the best place, right? This is not the ideal scenario. All right. So yeah. Does this continue today? Probably. I think overall, again, we'll get the news at 10, and that'll be really the kind of the big, I don't want to say linchpin, but that'll be the big kind of stamp on what we're going to see this morning. That'll be the final kind of nail in it, right? There's probably more movement that we have coming, right? I wouldn't be surprised if this pulls back just a little bit before the news comes out. Eh, it's there. It's there. All right. Start off Aussie. So, any surprise that this came down? No. We talked about, again, before news, about a hour before news is when we really start to see what it did. You can see we were kind of talking about this yesterday. Not much moving off of this yesterday. That was FOMC. It just drove it down a little bit, right? Popped up, came back down, found those same buyers here. No real Harry Potter implication. And we talked about really there wasn't enough room. And then late last night took off, right? Europeans started to send it down. 5:30 reversal back up again, and it drove it right up in time for news, and then boom. Big push to the downside. Quite a large drop of about 50 pips almost instantaneously. I think it was pretty telegraphed. Again, you could use this level. Looking to the left on this one, some of you may have said, okay, news-wise, look, there's the zone right there, right? But you got to kind of look to the left and say, hey, listen, actually, there's your zone. There's your basing right there. There's your confirmation. There's another hit. This is 3, but at the same time, you can see it held and strong push to the downside. Not much we can do with it right now because obviously the trade just finished. Could we get a reversal from the next news release? I mean, I guess we could, but I really feel like this will probably just continue to the downside. I don't think any of the news that we're going to be getting, just coming out, none of the forecasts or anything like that are really showing anything that is, I don't know. Nothing that I'm super worried about, right? ISM showing higher, right? It was 50. I guess if it goes down to 48, then it shows a contraction in services. I guess that could throw a little hiccup in, maybe. I guess a little bit, right? I guess it could. I don't know. Jolts. I mean, if Jolts comes down to, I don't know, 9, maybe, I guess that could show weakness. But again, the hiring is really what matters the most at this point. Seeing this come down, I mean, we're not going to drop back down to the 5.5 mark. So, could we jump? Yeah. But I think at this point, we're going to start testing lower. And again, I think we start setting up this 65, 67 for tomorrow as this continues to drive to the downside. But again, simple, very, news-based trade. It did exactly what it should. It rallied up ahead of time, hit that zone, and then boom, very, very strong push to the downside. Aussie yen. Yeah, so gotta hate when this happens. We were looking for the Harry Potter, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We had some basing in here, and then it pulled back up again. And it actually, I would have assumed it hit here, but it drove higher and then grabbed the next level. So Yeah, unfortunately, this one came all the way down and tagged the profit target we talked about, 95.62. It made it to 92.60, so 2 pips below where we came through. Came back up, grabbed the same level, and then just shot right back down again because of the end play. So again, target was hit. The entry was a little bit weird. And again, this is not the entry. Down up is not the entry we wanted. And then up here, you're like, oh, look at that. There's a zone there. And you may say, okay, well, that's not the base. I would have to use either this or I'm going to use this, right? And if you use that, you can see that you kind of missed it on those two. So one of those ones that's a little bit more challenging to play. It still went to the profit target we mentioned. And again, sometimes if you use those option based things, you know that that other exchange, right? We will not mention. Um, Again, it was there, but it wasn't a very big one. It was like 12 for 37. But again, this down up was not the basing we're looking for when it started to come up to here. Again, late last night, you could have looked to the left and said, "Oh, look at this!" Right? Selling right in there, came up and started the base, and then all of a sudden, just boom, collapse. So, yeah. So right now in this one, again, I think if anything, this is more of a proxy play right now. I don't think, again, it's already kind of extended to the downside. It hit the profit that we talked about yesterday. Um, and literally just kind of bounce off that same level again. Unfortunately, to the left, there's not really a great level that we can reverse off of. You can see it's kind of an impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, kind of correction back again. Yeah, you got chocolate over your face. You got chocolate all over your face. Um, just not really a great level right now. We do have a larger time frame level down here around the 95.12, 95.13 level. It's been spiked a couple times, but right now we have 55 pips to go till we get down there. Touch him and I got chocolate all over me. So yeah, so definitely some more room on that one to the downside. Unfortunately, it's a little bit late to get in. That would have been also kind of a news based trade more than anything else. You can see it kind of shot right back up into its zone. Didn't quite get to the most recent basing, but we were looking for a short there. And again, price drove up half hour before news, and again, nice push to the downside. As we mentioned that this ADP number would be this morning. We'll probably get some more action in this one, I think. Obviously, the services and the jolts will affect the Dow. Um, it will be a proxy play, and obviously, the Aussie, if it starts to affect gold a little bit more. I feel like a lot of the gold stuff is in already, though. I don't know if we'll get much more out of it. What? No, mom's not here. Mom's at work. You want to say hi? No, stay here. Come here. Come here. Come up here. Talk right here. Right here. Right here. Say hi. Say hi. No, he's like looking right here. Say hi. Say hi. No? Okay. He's like trying to figure out who he's waving to. I should get a picture of his mom or something. Why don't you go watch her play in the other room? Hmm? Why don't you go watch her play? So yeah, again, I think this one continues to push down. Again, potential reversals all the way down here at 95.11, but we got about another 65 pips to go. 60 pips to go before we get to that level. Oh, buds, you're covered in chocolate. What is this? You got chocolate everywhere. You're got covered, and you peed in your diaper again. Just changed you. Um. Oh, now you're gonna say hi. You say hi to people. You say hi. Um. So again, I think reversal. I think this probably continues to go the downside. Maybe if there's a massive surprise, this thing shoots back up again. But I think overall it's coming down. I think the writing's on the wall. The Fed's going to continue pushing pressure on. And again, we should see the Aussie deteriorate as gold constantly accelerates below that uh, towards its 1900. Euro dollar. Okay, now euro dollar had a spike. Now again, kind of the same thing. You look at 6 o'clock. What did it do? Hour, 2 hours ahead of time, it kept driving higher, 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 and higher. If you look to see where tests are, you could say that, hey, listen, there's kind of your last level, right? There's your level of basing. There's your touch, and that's exactly what it ran into. At 8:30, came up and grabbed it, and then nice run to the downside, right? It was about 40 pips to the downside, not bad. We talked about potentially getting long down here, and again, you can see it kind of reset itself. It ended up just barely breaching through the backside, and then what happened was, yeah, this is one of those ones where when you're waiting for that confirmation touch, it came up and gave us the confirmation. It just didn't come all the way back down again. So we were looking for it. If we had used just the old bottom down here, it ended up going, I don't know, was it like two? Was it two? 2.1, 2.2. Sorry. It did. No, we're not going to do that. It did go 2.2 pips past where the bottom of that zone was. Again, if you would put your buffer in, typically this spread is 1.5. So, no, Kip, here, take this. that? Here, you want this? Buds. Here, there's stuff in there. What is that? Did you put sticks in there? Whining. In the whining. He's hit the. He's not even two yet, but he's hit the terrible two whining phase. So again, nice reversal back. We would have probably missed it on the downside unless you had taken a confirmation entry, which again, the confirmation entry didn't even kick in until way up here, so a little bit too late. You could have grabbed it on a small time frame, but not on the 30, unfortunately. So where we are right now with it kind of rallying back up again, I would assume that's because people are trying to position this for a second hit to the downside. Won't be surprised if this turns and rolls. And again, at this point, look for a profit target down here of 108.41. There are sellers here, but just be cautious. Boom, boom, boom. There's our three hits. The next real clean level without any type of confirmation, again, this level hit multiple times, is probably up at the 109.30. It is within range. I mean, if there's a big surprise, no, stop. It is within range, right? It is a 50 pip pop. Obviously, if the news is like again, a massive surprise, can it move 50 pips? Absolutely. But if it does, look for an immediate reversal back to the downside. I would expect, again, that would be a parabolic move up with some crazy news, and it would be an immediate turn back down from the 109.34. So, again, target right now to the downside would be 108.41. It's already hit there. Again, it can absolutely kind of use this level. There was buyers down here. Ideally, we like the red lower than the green, but again, there are some people down there. But I won't be surprised if this thing continues to deteriorate to the downside. I don't know what you want. Here, you want this? Here, here. There you go. Something to make noise. Euro pound. All right, so Harry Potter trade from last week finished yesterday at 1 o'clock. We mentioned yesterday we were sitting right around here about how it'd gone about halfway and then kind of rallied back up again, right? Went down, came back up, and again, you may have gotten entered on this candle here, or you may have gotten in over here. You can see it didn't break yesterday. You did get out at 1:30 yesterday in the afternoon. We mentioned that we had levels down here with a confirmation, and that's exactly what it used this morning. I don't know. I don't think it's out yet. It's really close. Let me throw this on. Yep, actually it did. It literally just as I was drawing that one, it literally just went through the top side. Again, not a very very big trade. It was only 7 for 23 or 21 in the other direction. Again, very very small, but we knew we had buying down there. We knew we had a confirmation based off that level. Let's set this up. We can remove the 78 here now. Let's pull this. Let's pull this. Let's drag this all the way down and see what we have. Um, hmm, hmm. There is a little bit of a zone in here, right around the 23. So the 23 is now live since we came all the way down. Uh, is it a great level? Not really, right? I mean, there's two little wicks in there. Here, I'll move this back. Two little wicks in here, right? And it comes up and kind of tested. But here's the problem: it was a little base here, and it tested here, came up and went just slightly higher and hit it again, and then came all the way down, and then came up and hit it again, and came down, and we're hitting it again. So this is technically hit number 4. Um, Not really a big fan of the hit number 4s, uh, particularly if we're looking for a reversal. Now, are there people here? Sure. Are there people here? Kind of like that better. There's a small level to 50. It's not the ideal setup. If anything, I would say that the level to 61.8 is probably a little bit better. Right? That's probably a bit better. Um, it's got a long way to go though. Hmm. Hmm. Retail sales was 0. Hmm. 6:30. Hmm. Here you go. Robust. Services growth. Right. Suggested further expansion. But wait, we have 4 minutes. Is it 8:45? No. Hmm. Interesting. There's buyers there, but that was a little bit more of an accelerated move. Kind of surprised by the level of that 930. It's a little bit more of an acceleration than you would expect to see with this pair, the euro pound, right during this time frame. Um, hmm, is an interesting spot. Now, I would expect this probably to continue. Like I said, there will be some artificial sellers in here. There is a little bit of a wick over here, but not really great. Again, if you want to trail it, again, a next push, you can take something back up. But I think this one probably comes up and probably starts to roll. Again, it's got to clear. There's just no catalyst right now for this one, being it's the end of the day for them. I'm just not surprised that it turned here. I'm surprised that we got the acceleration level. What? He's going to be deposited in the crib here rather soon. So yeah, expected to come up. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a little roll. We'll see how it turns and flips. Euro yen. So euro yen surging again. Um, we talked yesterday about finding the base where the base came in at. Well, you can see the base came in right there, right? And there was your touch of the base, right? Again, if we use the same one, ideally, actually, this should be here, there, right? You can see again. There's your base late last night, and oh, actually, I guess 11, what, 10 o'clock, right? Drop, base, pullback. What? Please go in the other room. Here, please go in the other room. Go in the other room. You want to go in your crib? You want Daddy to put you in the crib? Stop whining. I don't have anything up here for you to play with. You can sit with me if you want. You want to sit with me? You can sit with me. Here, do you want to watch? You want to watch here? I put it on the TV for you. Hold on one sec, guys. Let me get this for him. We got 3 minutes before the news. Sorry, 2 minutes before the news. Yeah, well, I'll play in a second. Here. Let me get this off real quick. Way too loud. Sure, you guys all don't want to listen to Masha Bear. There we go. All right, so 125. Again, nice little Harry Potter trade. We saw a base and we said, okay, that's it. It's going through. And it kind of peeked its head through, went down, and then came back up and grabbed that level. Nice push to the downside, all the way down to 155.86. Now we've driven up, and again, as you would expect, it did run into some problems here coming through that level. Again, we typically don't use them a second time, but it hit it, pulled in, hit it, pulled in. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is what finally broke through the top side. So let's get some let's see. Again, we're still good on this top side. I still like that top side. Okay, good. So we can remove this now. Pull that one off. We need a little help on this one. Not really concerned about this level here. 61, there's a little touch off of that one. This one's okay. I like the drawing of that one. Hmm. I wish this was actually sitting on either a 61 or a 50. Not as concerned about the 78, but I like the formation of that one. I like how that was drawn. I like how that printed there, but I don't like where it's at. All right, let's see. We got 10 seconds here. Mm-hmm. Come on, 5, 4. Let's see what we got here. As long as this one isn't 49, we should be fine. I don't know. I mean, I guess this could be 8-5, but that would be insane. I don't think it's going to be much different. Come on. We already know the data's out. Give us the data. Come on, there's news articles talking about it already. Give it to us. Oh man, look at this. This is come on. Everybody knows. I'm trying to see if there's any jumps. Oh, 9.82. So, a little bit lower, but again, if anything over 6 on this one, and then there you go. Look, job services much better than expected. So people look at this like, look at this. The job openings, that's awesome. Yeah, you know why? Probably because double the people got hired back again, right? I mean, there's 200,000 extra here. Is there 200,000 extra here? Nope. There's 100,000. So, yeah, yeah. So maybe this could account for the difference between the job openings and the non-farm change. That an extra 200,000 people over here, 250,000, what, 270,000 people got hired here, and yet there's only 100,000 difference between these two. So maybe that is the question on a lot of people's minds. So again, good that it came down. It needs to, but again, we're seeing services up there again. 51 versus 53, not a big deal, but it's accelerating farther from contraction. So, yeah, what's he messaging me for? So yeah, we may see a little pullback, and again, that data will probably help the yen just a little bit in there. It should help stabilize the markets just a tad, right? I don't think it'll be a free fall. I think again, the writing's still on the wall. What? Your toenail is broken. Stop. Sorry, buds, but broken. There, it's fixed. It's fixed. So yeah, this should help us reverse a little bit. Now, again, I don't like any of the entries in here. Again, I do like it to the downside, but again, I don't have a definable level of risk in here, so it's not something that I'm really focused on. Again, I like the candle formation here. We'll probably see a pullback, but again, with the chop back and forth, we have buyers getting ready to kind of push and move to the top side. All right. Yeah, but I expect it to come down, but I don't think it'll go too far. Pound dollar. Okay. Funny. It really didn't even slow down. Again, we were looking for this. We were hoping that it was going to rally all the way up, and then FOMC would help drive it down. Unfortunately, nobody was fooled at 9:30. It's like, nah, we're not really going to go up there, and it just pushed down. So, unfortunately, they didn't give us enough data there. We were looking for shorts somewhere up here. We knew we had a lot. It had been there a few times. We're really looking for news. The news, unfortunately, came out here at 8:30. Well, it drove past, and then it started the base. So, a very, very easy news-based trade back to the downside. Again, we were looking for shorts in that one anyway. Um, the reality of this one, is it really basing? Or is it really trending? We were in this area for so long. We did get a nice pop, but now with the dollar strength data today, we're kind of pulling back into it. The big question is, are we going to maintain and start following this channel again? Definitely like the short up top. The short was pretty easy. Actually, there was a 7 o'clock window. Again, there's your level of basing, and you can see at 8:30. Actually, we did get a little pullback. I guess 8:30 is here. It kind of pushed up, and it's continuing that pressure to the downside. But again, absolutely shorting that one going into this morning. Um, Hmm. I would say that that's probably my target for the downside right now. Again, it's an it's been a lot of time here. Spent a lot of time here. Okay, one little confirmation off of it, so we know we got buyers there. Hmm, how much is that got to move? Hmm. Yeah, it's just been here so many times for some touch. We'll see. We'll see if we can get through this. Again, it's almost a reversal time. A profit taking is going to come in from that initial trade. The data that just came out, I wouldn't say is strong enough one way or the other to really make that many changes. Again, the data is understandable. Again, when you're forecasting, they didn't expect there to be a 270,000 difference, and that's exactly what the difference was for the job openings, meaning that we're filling the openings that are there, which is awesome. It's just how many openings are going to be opening back up again next month. Hmm, yeah, I'm trying. I'm debating whether or not I like that for long. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Because right now, remember, everybody's expecting big for the U.S. So if we tear down and the number just comes in as expected, I think that pops. I think that pops us to the top side. You have fingernails that need to be cut too. Why have you standing still for a second? God, I wish we could. This is what happens when you have these 8:30 releases, though, that are like big name releases. You get these drops, and unfortunately, the drop has already occurred. I like it continuing, but it's already moved. It's already moved 50 pips. So it's like, hmm. All right, you don't want me to cut it here? I'll do this then. Here. Yeah. God. I wish we had a better setup on this one. Unfortunately, it was already this morning. I don't know. Again, start looking for this guy. I I wish this was only like 2, 3 instead of like 4 hours worth of sideways movement. But I do think there could be a potential roll off of that. And for the most part, yeah, let's run fibs and see if we got any help with this one. Uh, yeah, it's right at the 61. So yeah, I'd say right now target of 126.74. Again, look at that when the 61 is there. It's hiding behind the 50, but it's a better level, and the 618 bisects it. So if this pushes down, that could be absolutely a way to reset us for tomorrow, right? Come down, bounce off this at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, come back up again in time for news tomorrow, and then it becomes another short. I think is kind of the best option we have for pound dollar. Pound yen, again, we know this is a big level up top, and again, we wanted to be alerted when it came through. Again, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, and now pulling back. So not really giving the quote Harry Potter confirmation long. It's not there yet, but again, eating up more of the people coming from that level, that 183.77. So again, high on the curve. Again, I think this is we are going to get some help from the yen right now. Again, the data coming out was not horrible for the yen. It probably pushes back down. There's a few levels in here. Again, either of these two levels in here that again we're looking for. Um, eh, Short, but again, not a great level to take it off of. Again, this is the yen coming back in. It's not really the pound. So, we'll see. Um, say we'd drawn this one. We're like, yeah, there's a level here, but again, it should be broken. I'm gonna take this off here. We do kind of have two touches high, and again, they're mirror tops. You guys see how the tops are exactly the same, kind of giving us a kind of a new level to look at, right? Right, kind of a new level to look at. And again, a decent base, touch, came back up, and it's almost the exact same bottom of the body and bottom of the body over here. So it's kind of a, yeah, yeah. So again, I like down. Uh, if I hate my, holidays at the beginning of the week. I think Illuminati is kind of what we're looking for. All right, got a lot of. How much we got to move? 150. So yeah, it's a daily ATR worth of movement. So you can leave some help with that one. Dollar CAD going higher. Look at this. We knew we had something here. We are waiting for a break of 130, 133. You can see it kind of gave us that little. The Harry Potter came in there, right? We hit it. We hit it again. It's like, oh yeah, it's breaking. Came up, base, pulled back, and gone. I think it is probably out. And again, Harry Potter's not really kind of an opening print. I mean, there's a lot of things, right? There's a lot of news ingestion in this one. But again, up, base, pull back, and go. I mean, that's literally we've talked about it on a couple different charts now. Actually, 1 to 3 is there, so it's officially out too. All right, so we're in reversal level now. So we knew we had some stuff up top. We knew we really didn't have anything here. We'd mentioned this Harry Potter before. It's about finding the correct base for it. And again, you can see, again, we were pretty close on the base, but again, using the top of this one and the bottom of this one. Actually, sorry, there. We can adjust this one there. Again, that's a 3.18, so you can see we're well past. Um, Yeah, I'd say right now we're profit taking. Again, nice little Harry Potter trade off of that. It really wasn't fooled. It shot up. 9 o'clock pulled it right back down again, and then boom, continuation higher. So this is the right fundamental play. Again, this is following exactly as it should. But again, I would look for reversals right now. Not that I expect a lot of weakness be coming in for the dollar, but sorry, I was adjusting him. I think. All right, so yeah, I'd look for this one to turn and roll back down again. I think 133 is a good target. I'd like to see where we go for tomorrow morning. Again, this will be a much bigger play tomorrow morning at 8:30. Understand it is a double base news, right? We have U.S. unemployment, and again, right now the data is expected to be bad and then good, right? So that's what we're looking for. Again, there could be a monstrous movement. Typically, the U.S. data will supersede the Canadian data. But again, if the U.S. data is 3.7, that's going to be bad, and this comes in at 2.24 after the data we just got. Everybody's going to expect a big jump. Again, average earnings, the average hourly earnings, I expect to be exactly the same. But if this stays at 3.7, and this comes in at 2.24, people are expecting this to be like 500,000 now after today's data. And then this, if this doesn't change, if this stays 5.2, if it isn't as bad, again, dollar CAD could have some major problems to the downside on a technical basis. So yeah. So just look to see where we occur now. Again, I expect a little bit of a pullback, but if we can maintain and hold somewhere up in this higher time frame level, we got a couple levels here. This is a big draw of two of them, right? This is the last push. Again, a confirmation off this. So a lot in this level, right? I think where we are right now, this is almost setting up for kind of a dollar weakness based trade. And it's not, it could happen, right? Is it highly likely? If things come in just as expected, I mean, right now we're actually preparing for kind of crazy, but so is the market. And if the market doesn't get that crazy number, it should kind of, again, rebalance back. And it should be actually more of a dollar weakness based trade, even if it comes in as expected, because right now everybody's expecting even more than that. All right. Again, nice little Harry Potter over 133. So, all right, dollar Swiss. Yeah, all kinds of crazy on the dollar Swiss. Let me shrink this back down again. We talked about again being here for news. You can see it didn't quite. We were hoping it was going to be all the way up there. It looks like it touched at 8 o'clock yesterday. It didn't quite get it back up, but it did retreat, like we had mentioned, back down again. Using this kind of near and far. Here's your confirmed level, and you can see 7:30, 8 o'clock. It literally came right down into that level and then skyrocketed higher, and now it's pushing to the top side. So as far as where sellers are, I would say that yes, there's a high probability that 89.95. Again, it was a nice kind of failure to go higher with a confirmation, really kind of here, but also this one it barely touched with some front running. So it's not a very big zone. It's 9 pips. So here I'll draw it out so you guys can see kind of what it looks like. And again, this is kind of what we just talked about, right? All the movement has already occurred. Will there be a retracement now? And again, all it's doing is going back down. So if it touches, again, could be a nice little whatever you put on last goes on top. Yeah, could be a nice little turning spot. 89.95. All right. Dollar yen. Again, not surprised that it pulled down. We're getting some dollar strength as we should be. The yen is not helping as much. Again, if it's dollar strength, yen strength, dollar strength is always going to supersede it. We mentioned that, hey, listen, look for a bottom here. There's already hit. Look to see if we can get anything. There was a little trade down here. And again, what did it do? It drove down for news right into the most recent level, which was, again, kind of a confirmed level on this side. Um, Again, news-based trade, it's done. And again, let's draw this here. You guys can see it. Yeah, this is the problem. When you have all this news at 8:30 in the morning, you're like 10 o'clock. You're like, oh, we could have taken this. It's 2 hours too late. And there's your three, right? Your 1 to 3 is right there. Okay. So again, quick trade. It literally just got out. If you didn't get out on this one, like if you were there, you just got out seconds ago. So kind of hard to do much with it. So I will say on this one, again, we know the 145 level. We just kind of drew this saying, hey, listen, there's a level in here. We had this trade from the other day. We can cycle this up to that level, which again is right at the 145 mark. I don't think it actually gets up to 145 today. I think it probably has some issues coming through this level in here. Again, sellers. But right now, if you're not out, again, you can see it's starting to pull back again. That profit taking is kicking in. It's 10:15. So, yeah. Sorry. Kip has passed out on my lap, but he's like dead weight now. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great news trade, but not much I can do with it now. New Zealand. So, yeah, no entry. We said, hey, listen, look to get short this pair, right? We talked about getting short this pair. Look to see what it does. We never really got the Harry Potter entry. It kind of chopped through the zone and took that off. You can see we came back up in the overnight. We kind of used this one, but what did it do? It went up, went up, and then 7:15. I'm sorry, 7:30, and then 8 o'clock is where this thing just went nuts, right? So again, we're looking for a short. We called the short. We talked about profit targets at 61.48. You can see the low was at 61.45, so we went 3 pips past where we were aiming for our target to the downside. Unfortunately, the entry was a little sloppy on that one, but again, this is one of those ones that it doesn't have a huge volume in the U.S. would far supersede this. Anything that was dollar strength based would have been a big mover. Again, for New Zealand, where this one went, that's 72 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 60, so in an hour and a half, it moved an entire day's worth of movement. Right? That's a nice little run. So easy one. Again, not a pair that everybody looks at, New Zealand dollar, but the way that this was trending really, really high, we're looking for this to pull back and really come back to the downside. So nice mover in the last hour and a half based off the news. Whoa, buds, you're okay. It's okay. Hold on one sec. He's like asleep, and then he's too big to fit on my lap now. Like before, he could like just curl up. Now that his legs like dangle off the sides, it like scares him. All right, so crude. All right, so crude. We can track this up. We were looking for 72.40 to get in. I made it to 72.34 before it reversed. So I missed it by just a little bit. I was like, just go just a little bit more. Nice run to the downside, right? This is a really nice push. Again, I didn't see any OPEC headlines, but today was day 2 of OPEC headlines. Yeah, missed it by 6 cents. Nice run back down to that close to that 70 mark. I like to see this continue and deteriorate a little bit lower. Again, there's nice level of basing here, base touch, and again, I think around 70, you are going to have buyers that are stepping into this market. So hold on, I'm gonna take off Masha Bear and the rhyming. Um, so yeah, I think 70 probably has some buyers coming in. There are some stabilization here. I haven't seen any OPEC headlines. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. I just may not have seen them. Inflation is way too high, above the 2% target. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to play the most important. Let's look for more. So I haven't seen anything in here, and there's nothing that is popping out. Right? Nothing is popping out yet. So I think we have a headline coming. So, yeah, wouldn't be surprised if they're talking about some type of cuts or something. Again, you may say cuts. The U.S. is doing great, but China's the driver, not the U.S. Um, so, not really a setup off this zone. If I had to draw it, I would say, hey, listen, watch out for that zone right there. Right, you can see that's where the basing is, the touch, and the takeoff, and it happens to be right at the 70 mark on that side, and it's backstopped by the 50. Probably a decent area for it to turn and roll. Natural gas. Keep coming, baby. Keep coming. So we took a bounce off this. We mentioned yesterday, 264, and you can see we had a big push down. We kind of had a little basing, and it's like, oh God, why are we basing in here? Like we knew this base was here, but we weren't super concerned about it. It wasn't really anything. We didn't set a Harry Potter because we didn't have the space. It ended up using that. So if you take this side, right, there's your area. You can see it came up for that. And again, what did the news do? News drove it down, came back up, and then it's continuing to push it. So as far as an entry zone, we can take it off now. I mean, it's out. Again, we had that near-term basing that we were looking for, and that's what it used. Right now, it is pushing past, and you can see where we are. There's nothing really slowing this down until we get back down to the 254. So, are we on our way? I'd say yeah. I mean, right now it's looking good for 254. Um, is there a trade here? It's a little bit far. The trade would have been up here, but again, right now, look for this to come all the way back down, and I'd say profit taking right now needs to be right there. So again, following the path. Gold. Any surprise with gold? No. It went up, up, up. I said watch it for an hour and a half beforehand. What did it do? Up, 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 and then all of a sudden it started the base, and then the news came out and right to the downside. Can you see better on the 15? Yeah. Look, base, little pop, little pull, and then at 8:15, boing. And why 8:15? Because the data came out at 8:15. But did they know? Yes. Pop, 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 pop. Hold. Little basing in there, and then explosion. So, yeah, gold did exactly what it should have. We were talking about a target of 9/11. It made it down to 1902, and we knew that 1900 would be a big deal. There's a 78 sitting there with a base, so I'm not surprised. I think it tested. I wouldn't be actually surprised if this one comes all the way down to this level right here. Okay. Could we bounce off of this one? Sure. Sure, we could. Our target's hit 1896. Um, 1896. I think it's target first. If you start seeing some basing, if we can have another one of those kind of failure to go lower, I think that could be a way for us to rally back up in time for tomorrow's non-farm payroll. Like, it's a great place to get profit. We want it to hit that level, and then we want it to start raising back up again. Why? To set this up for tomorrow for another short. Um, but again, pretty easy trade. It literally ran it straight up and then held there. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna hold this sucker high. It paused. Kind of like we talk about the 35 and 1 strategy. There you go. There's your hold, right? There's your hold. Hold, pop a little bit, and then started to show us what's going to happen, and then boom. So easy gold trade setup. Obviously, it's out right now. Not much I can do with it. Again, I think 1896.25 is a nice little reversal point. Silver. Again, we love this one. We're like, oh, here's where the FOMC came out. It didn't go high, and then it tried. It rallied back up, and it held at 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, 7:30, and then all of a sudden, what did it do? Boom! And again, if you didn't use that zone, you could have done the same exact thing. You could have said, okay, well, there's our most recent level of basing. You could use it there. You could use it there. Doesn't matter. It launched it. We talked about getting short. Again, strong short. I think this is we'll just use it off of this zone, right? We're at a 1 to 6.5 right now. So again, huge trade. Again, pretty scripted. Pretty scripted. So again, funny look. We talked about this 50% level here. That's what it smashed into. Boom, boom, smashed in, and came back and smashed it. It should go through it now. Let's take this off. Look at that. One hit, popped, hit again. There is another little level of basing at 78. I'd say this is probably the next target right here. So, problem with this big drop. This thing's going to have to retrace a whole lot to get us back high again. So, maybe. See, we need this to bottom out and then start the push. I think that's what we're looking for. Is what happens in this time frame and then what happens in this time frame right here. Maybe this is going to be the selling point. Maybe we come down. So, I think there's a potential scenario. We probably come down and then we start to base around a little bit and then starts to slowly tear back again. I don't know. Maybe we come here, confirm that level, right? Um, and then maybe it pushes down, pushes back up, and then goes down. Something along those lines, right? I'd really like to see what happens from here to here. And again, maybe it just continues higher, and we're selling from up here, right? But yeah, I think again 2250, and again maybe potentially maybe we come all the way down. You know what? Maybe it does make it down to 2225 or 2228. Maybe we start instead of this cycle being here. Maybe we start this cycle here, which actually would coincide with this level. Look, it would actually coincide with that level. Hmm. We'll see. Yeah. So same thinking today. Same thing thinking tomorrow for what we had today. Again, I'm looking to get short silver, especially if we start to rally up the hour and a half before news. You don't have to be up all night watching this one. It's very easy to figure out that tomorrow's data coming in at 8:30. So from 7 to 8:30 is really where you're looking at, right? Look to see what it does for the hour and a half before. If we rally up, look to take the short and smash it to the downside. Apple pulling back. Didn't have the best day yesterday, and again, we're kind of holding firm over here. Tesla, again, we knew we were already sitting high. Look at this. That's how we drew it yesterday. We're like, oh, look, 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 and then boom, what do? We gap down and continue to push lower. So, yeah, Tesla's got some room down 2.7, 2.7. So all the indices, wow, up at 15 now. Jeez, 15%. I thought 9.5 was crazy. Yeah, so the market's obviously not super excited. Again, a little bit of delay on my VIX, but obviously the market is not super excited. Again, this is factoring in the 10 o'clock candle frame. So yeah, let's see, dollar, yeah, dollar's like yeah, 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 right. Dollar is moving, and again on this 5-3, that services went much farther away. Didn't show contraction. Oh, they just adjusted it. Aha. See, when the number came out, we didn't have this. They were only showing this, so they were wrong last time. So yeah, there was 200,000 extra job openings in there. So yeah, the numbers kind of make sense. It's kind of a big drop, but they're all absorbed right here in the surprise off of this. But again, it's red, but it was also adjusted last time. So it's a red green. It should have been much worse, right? So yeah, they were a little bit off. A little bit off. All right. Well, that helps. 10 point. God, look at, they were way off last time. So again, people are getting hired back. That's much better than expected. So yeah, so that's probably throwing the market for a little bit of a loop right now. But overall, again, seeing this dollar drive, not surprising. So let's see what ES again. This morning, extremely difficult to play any of these things. Started to move a little bit early. How's that for Harry Potter? Again, there's your more term level spacing. Um, here's the 9:30 candle. Yeah, and this is. I'd love to tell you this was an easy one, but yeah, you should have been in short ahead of time. It's kind of the same thinking of silver, and it didn't even need to pull back. Yeah, the 915 was this little doji, and then just boom. Yeah, it's doing what it should do. The data justifies this. So you're like, wait a second, that was good data. Why is this bad? It's because it's telling the Fed keep raising. The 915 again. We talk about just the actual cycle of things. You can see there was a green at 845. The 915 technically was red. It was a doji. It was very very small. Opening closing basically almost the same, but red. But you can see here 915 it did pull back up. Obviously, it's kind of like almost a Harry Potter, but we're a little bit beyond. 915 was green, kind of setting up that short, and that's where the short came lower. Not really a great level. And again, I don't want to try to pick a bottom on this one. This one's technically red. Technically red. Um, Again, nice punch up and push to the downside. So, yeah. Unfortunately, no opening print. We are touching a 78, so let me pull that off. It's basically around the 50. Well, we got to find the bottom. Fires down here. I love it. Services expanding. Market down. They're like, oh god, the Fed's gonna keep raising. Yes, they are. But I don't think that's any change than what we saw before. So, yeah. Unfortunately, no opening print. I don't even want to find them. I mean, there's a couple places it could bottom, but the question is, how much is this going to be prepared for tomorrow and the big number that we're going to get? It's funny. 8:45 and 9 were up, pulling this one up, and then the 9:15. There's no fool in the Russell today. The Russell knew what was going on. We talked about getting short from this level, right? Right. 877. Funny, it actually based off the 877. Look at the base right there. Actually, just missed it by a smidge. So, yeah, but that's the level we're talking about shorting from. So let's pull that off now. Let's see where this one has the ability to go to. Well, we just hit the 78, so I'm good. Let's yank this sucker off. Let's go from here high to low. base right here. I love this one. The daily ATR is 1601. It's like, wow, it's only 1841. Really? Russell looks like it's setting up for a reversal. Hmm. Yeah, I'd say Russell's probably setting up for a bit of a reversal. It's kind of extended right now beyond where it should be. It's so funny. Kip is like trying to like stretch out, but like he just doesn't fit. Like my lap and the chair is just not that big enough. So yeah, but yeah, so kind of reversal. Again, the indices is pretty easy. We talked about them all being down one. They're all down 1.5. Russell's 2.5 or 2.25. As they should be. I mean, the data justifies it today. Big question is, what are we going to see tomorrow? Actually, crude is continuing to accelerate. So again, crude trying to get down to that 70 mark. I think that's important. Um, Natural gas is also accelerating down to that. So again, they're all moving kind of where we want them to. Like I said, it's kind of like we need them to balance much lower. Oops, I just moved that. I don't need it right now, but so yeah, we'll see. All right, that's it for today. Like I said, tomorrow, big day. Again, non-farm is considered the biggest, besides an interest rate change, obviously, is the biggest news release that happens on a regular basis. Again, interest rates and cuts don't happen all the time. Those are fixing measures. Coupled with CAD, again, there should be some decent movement tomorrow. I still think we're probably going to get an OPEC headline today. We haven't gotten it yet, but I still think there's an OPEC headline coming in. Again, could that be why oil's moving? Because they've re-released so the people in the know, potentially, right? But I think we'll get one. You would typically tend to see a lot more people being hired back as a good thing for oil, but it's showing to the downside. Again, could be a couple of reasons for that. Oil is definitely more outreaching. They're looking down in the future and saying, "Hey, listen, yeah, Fed's definitely going to raise. Could they push us into recession by going too far?" And I think it's a valid question. But also, obviously, China's having problems, and China is the driver. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. China is the driver. So, all right, that's it. Let's go ahead and do our drawing for today. Um, Ernest, if you didn't realize, you won yesterday. You're welcome. Because you had the problems the other day, I wanted to make sure that you didn't miss out on the drawing, right? I tried to enter, and it actually snubbed me twice. But I waited to do the drawing. It was Ernest by proxy, right? It was Ernest by proxy, and you got your stuff. So, all right, let's see what we got today. All right, close this down. Winner of today's drawing is. Oh, it's paused. I hit the button. I hit it. Let's see with the delay. I should have we need like the countdown for it. It's like, let me know when it works. There we go. Neuro. All right, mark that one as complete. All right, so Neuro takes us 25 today. I feel like when I hit that button and it paused, I feel like you guys are in there doing a little hacky, right? But Neuro takes it back. It's 25. He stole it for a little bit. All right. So that's it. I'm out of here. Tomorrow, obviously, going to be a big morning. You need to make sure that you watch out for what happens from 7 o'clock to 8:30 tomorrow morning, just like today. Again, it's always harder to try to do these things right after big news releases, after a big surprise like that. And that's why we didn't have as many trade setups this morning. But tomorrow, probably the same thing. 7 to 8:30. Look to see where these things go. They'll typically tell you ahead of time. And don't be surprised if things come in as expected. They could potentially be a short trade tomorrow, very, very fast, because everybody's expecting big numbers now. All right. So with that, trade safe. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.